welcome to another episode of A Variety of a Podcast. Today I'm really happy and I'm really glad that we have another Mexican that is breaking it. He's like a freaking crack, right? So I'm gonna let you know a little bit about him. He has over a decade of experience. He has worked with brands like Nike, Adidas, HBO, Amazon Prime, NBA, the NFL. He's illustrator, and he also animated and directed two short films so far, and he also published a comic. Okay, so before give him the word, I need to do a proper introduction of a bad idea of a podcast, but this time we're gonna make it something different. Okay, because our guest is something special and something different. Okay, and we know that he likes and loves music. And hopefully he likes the Dodgers. Okay, so they call him Adam. He loves the Dodgers. He came to draw, came to draw, came to draw. Adam Days, he's illustrator, and he tells a story too. They call him Adam. He loves the Dodgers. He came to draw, came to draw, came to draw. Adam Days, he's illustrator, and he tells stories too. Welcome,
That
man.
was good,
Welcome.
man.
How you doing, man? How
Thanks
you
for
doing?
great, man. Thank you. Thanks so much for having me and for that introduction. That's that was great. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, neither do I. Neither do I. To be honest, it was like completely like out of the blue, but there you go. So we were saying that you have over a decade of experience, like doing illustration, doing animation, but mainly in sports. So most of the people that know you recently, it's because the collaboration, like the latest collaboration that you have with NFL Mexico,
Yeah,
called Hasta La Muerte, right? So I wanted to start with
yeah,
that. Can you walk us through how was like the call to get you into that collaboration with the NFL?
yeah, for sure. Well, I first started I got into sports illustration when I got like my first office job, to call it like that. In sports social media agency here in Mexico. They happen to have like I wanted to work in while watching the World Cup from Russia 2018. That was my main goal at the time. I wanted to draw and to watch football, and I made it, and I was drawing and watched all the matches. And after that, they hired me like full time, and I started like getting into a lot of the branches they had, and all the yeah, like the brands. So they got things like Juan Football, Juan Baseball, Frida Pop, that were like from baseball, from women's soccer, and all that stuff. But they happen to have the account of NFL here in Mexico for social media. So I just like I raised my hand, and I told them like I get pretty bored pretty quickly, and I like it's best for me and for you also if I like work around a lot, you know. So they had me like moving around and doing illustrations for all the brands, and then the COVID hit, and they asked me to get into NFL full time, because for the agency, NFL was the main source of income at the time during COVID, because it was off season and they had their steady income. So that's that's how I got like full into NFL here in Mexico. And I was working with now a good friend of mine that happens to be your friend too. Actually, it is Raul Gutierrez. He's a great friend. He's such a talented man, and he's a sports guy like all around. Um, So working with him was amazing, and all the team. And after the World Cup of Qatar 2022, I quit the agency. Not because anything bad, just because I wanted to like to pursue my freelance career and my artist, so to call it like that, career. But I told them like I want to stay in touch, and I want to freelance for you, you know. And they like gladly liked my job enough to search me afterwards, and then like we made 2 or 3 projects like freelanced after I quit, until last year when they came to me and told me like we're trying to do this thing for Dia de Muertos, that is the Day of the Dead in Mexico, and we don't know if it's going to work, but we want to make our first like watch party, like Dia de Muertos celebration themed thing, and we want you to art direct it and like make the whole thing. Like it was beyond my wildest dreams. I actually say that I didn't even dream about it because I didn't know it was possible. So it wasn't in my radar at all, and it was a huge responsibility for my country, for my culture, well, our culture, our country, our celebration, and also for the sport. Like I'm more of a soccer fan because of my family. Like I grew up watching and playing soccer, but nowadays I love all sports, especially soccer, skateboarding, baseball, and football, or American
Okay.
football as I call it. Um, so yeah, I dived deep into like our culture and what how does Mexico embrace and live this football culture. You know, it's a
Okay.
lot about a
Yeah.
family and a lot about legacy and sharing. And I found this like this path along with like Mexican traditional printing and artists like Jose Guadalupe Posada and stuff. So, yeah, and fortunately enough, it was a huge success with all the sales and the products we made and the watch parties. And now,
And I want to highlight a couple of things that you mentioned right now. It's
yeah,
first of all, I it goes beyond my wildest dream because I didn't know it's possible, it was possible to be working or collaborating with this type of companies, right?
yeah,
That's something. And the second, it's you wanted to highlight our culture. You want to highlight
yeah,
Dia de Muertos. You want to highlight our traditions. But for you, as an artist, how important is that people outside of Mexico understand what it means, your art? And what I mean by this is everyone inside of Mexico, everyone in Mexico understand your illustration because we have the context, right?
yeah.
But when people from outside of Mexico saw your work, what do you want to transmit to them?
Yeah, I like uh, first of all for the other question, like the highlighted about the dream. For me, it wasn't about working with NFL that it was impossible. It was having such a creative freedom from a huge league and brand like NFL to give me full full creative freedom to highlight one of my well of one, if not the most uh, recognized worldly recognized tradition that is Dia de Muertos. Uh, like it's such a huge responsibility, and to create a whole line of products that also happen to have my signature on it, like, highlighting me as a creator and artist. That is beyond my wildest dreams, you know, that like that treatment and that like the whole package, you know. And the other thing, what do I want the people outside of Mexico to feel with my work? I just want them, first of all, to question it, like to wonder like why, how, what, why what is this, like catch their eye first, and then to feel like, okay, so in Mexico, uh, not only American football, but also like sports and the sports culture, it's all about family and sharing and tradition. In Mexico, everything is about tradition and family. Like I think it's the basis of our culture. Also, maybe in Latin America, but uh, I'm speaking for Mexico. I grew up like this. I grew up in a family where the sport became like the foundation of and the way of connecting with one another. So um, when people ask me like, what does sports mean to you? For me, it's family. It's
Okay.
sharing. It's watching a match and getting all together and having a meal or whatever and celebrating together. And we're not really it's just a pretext or anything just to have something to gather together.
Okay.
So yeah, I want them to see that for us, it's not about all the players, all the teams. Like yeah, it's about them, but it's not the most important thing. It's about all that surrounds the game, you know?
Yeah. Okay. I got you. I got you. And then it's really cool that you mentioned family because yes, in Mexico it's something really important to share
Yeah,
everything as a family, and a celebration and a tradition like Dia de Muertos or Day of the Dead. It's something really important because we honor those who doesn't um, remain with us like physically,
yeah.
right? um, I want to know what was your creative process in like your thinking process about creating this collection, because when you saw all the illustration and when you saw all the elements that you use, it's absolutely amazing.
Thank you, man. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, so it was pretty hard actually, because as I told you, like I felt a huge responsibility to feel authentic and to feel like not cliche and not repetitive, because also the other Muertes is a tradition that has been, mm, I don't want to use that word, but it's the only one I got like exploited,
Oh yeah,
commercially
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
internationally. So I wanted to treat it with so much respect. Also, like for our culture and also for the sports fans. So I just went looking for the most honest place I could find. Um, so that's why I dug deep into what does it mean, like what is the relationship between the game and the Day of the Dead. So and that's what I found, that in Mexico, as I told you, like the family is one of the foundations of it. And usually when people love a sport, in this case NFL or American football, is because like either their father or their mother or their grandparents or someone showed them and introduced them to the game, and it became like a legacy. And so there are people that doesn't even know why they are rooting for a certain team. It's just like,
It's just
oh yeah,
because.
my family roots for that team, so we are all
Yeah.
Packers, we're all Cowboys. I don't know. That that for me was pretty interesting and pretty funny, and that's a great way to remember um, the people, like your loved ones. So I thought like, if even one person has this story, that's okay. But I'm pretty sure and pretty confident that a lot of people share this story, and it was a great bet, because when we released the collection, a lot of people were telling me like personally, like, dude, you captured the essence of Mexico. You captured like our story and how we share this legacy from generation to generation, so and creatively, I knew that I couldn't get rid of the cliche of using skeletons, of using color, uh, and maybe that's it. So my bold move, if you can call it bold, was to try to make it black and white. So all the doodles are black and white, and they're inspired by Jose Guadalupe Posada's printings, um, because he used to make them like this, like with this finished. I made them digitally, so it's not like pure in its purest form, but it's like an inspiration of. And the surroundings or the fillers were with five colors that gave this Mexican vibe and feel of Dia de Muertos. But I wanted to make these doodles of skeletons like joyful and playful, like the
Like the
like
celebration
we
itself.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what, like, getting back to your other question, like what I want uh, people outside of Mexico to know is that we in Dia de Muertos we approach that as a celebration of life, and also kind of laugh at at the face of death, and we use the imagery of skeletons to make like funny stuff and laughing. So that's where it came from, like using these doodles to represent the fans making funny stuff, and they have these football eyes, because in my idea was that these are the skeletons who lived all their life watching football, so now they happen to have these eyes, you know. And alongside that imagery is that thing also a little petal from the flower cempasúchil, which is the flower representative of Dia de Muertos. It I placed it in the forehead because I wanted to represent like the memory that is alive, like we're keeping these people alive, and that's the only thing with color in the inside the doodles. And every doodle has this little flame on top of their heads, and that is the representation of the passion that is passed from generation to generation, and that is keeping the flame alive, you know. So that was the inspiration.
Wow. I mean, when you break it down for us, it's like even more amazing because you saw the images, you saw all
Agree.
the doodles, and you can feel the passion and you can understand
Yeah,
your vision and your like where you came from. And now when you're breaking it down, it's even like way beyond perfect. Let me tell you that.
thank you, man, thank you. I really
Now,
appreciate
I
it.
mean, you mentioned a lot about your family, and you mentioned a lot about sport is sharing something like sharing a bond with family.
Yeah.
Uh, who was the person? Who was the first person to introduce you to sport? Any sport?
I think it was my dad, my parents actually. My dad has played football, like soccer, like since he was a baby. So when I'm the firstborn of my family. I have two siblings, but I'm the oldest. And yeah, so I I saw a picture of my first birthday piñata for my first birthday, and it was a football, like a soccer ball. So it was like, yeah, yeah, that's where it came from. So yeah, and I think that influenced me not only like in the practice of the sport, but also like in sports philosophy that that colored all my vision of life. Like you have to be prepared, you have to work hard, you have to share, to work as a team. If you give a good pass, you're helping others, you know, like that sort of stuff. So it became like a philosophy for me, also like professionally, and like yeah, in day-to-day life. Yeah.
Okay. And now, do you remember the first piece you ever made? How was it? What do you feel at that time?
Like sports piece,
Yeah,
you mean?
the first
Yeah,
sports piece.
yeah. It was pretty funny because I had my animation studio that I founded soon after I got out of college, and then I worked there for 4 years, and it was so hard for me to notice that it wasn't what I wanted to do, although it was my animation studio, you know. So I quit my own animation studio to pursue a career in freelance, freelance illustration, and I took a workshop with a guy called Ghost Shrimp, which is the illustrator behind the backgrounds for this show called Adventure Time, this pretty famous show in Cartoon Network. So he was giving this workshop for illustrators and freelance illustrators, and I signed in. And one of the assignments was make an illustration, editorial illustration, and make this an illustration about a topic you like. Uh, and I was like, okay, well, I like soccer, so maybe I should draw a piece about soccer. That was my first approach. And like looking in retrospective, like I now it seems so obvious to me, but at the time it was like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing. I didn't even know that it was a real job. And I made this piece of a goal scored by Hugo Sanchez, which called like Señor Gol, like Mr. Goal, where he made this chilena, this bicycle kick, and yeah, that was it. And I look at it now and it's like, okay, like it's not bad, but man, like it's been a long way from that now. Like, I have
Okay.
more than maybe 1,500 illustrations under my belt after that, by working professionally for these years. So yeah, I'm pretty proud about that assignment and that workshop.
Okay. Okay. After that, you said, I mean, that was the moment when you realized that working in sports and working like as illustrator is going to be like something that you wanted to do for the rest of your life.
I thought that if I could work like what at the same time, like I love drawing, like it's my favorite activity in the whole world. And but if I can get paid to draw while watching my favorite sport, dude, it should be like heaven. So yeah, and it is like spoiler, it is, at least for me. I thought that just drawing could be like enough, and it is, but mixing two passions is like, damn, dude, like a whole new level of ecstasies and excitement. And so it's pretty much uh, everything. It's super fun. It also can get like, don't get me wrong, it can get tiring and it can be repetitive, but man, it's like drawing while watching sports is something very funny and very very fun.
If you could sit down with any athlete in any time in history, who would it be and why?
Sit down to chat or sit down to
Sit
portray them?
down. No, wait.
Okay,
There's a catch. Sit down with
okay.
any athlete that you want in history
Uh-huh.
to illustrate their career.
Whoa. Okay. Ah, like I think my first one would be Messi, but I don't like how
Wait,
he
wait,
handles interviews, so I wouldn't do that. So
wait,
that,
wait. You're okay. Wait. So you're saying like you will sit down with Messi, but you're having a Juventus shirt, probably for Cristiano, or am I wrong?
nah, nah. I admire him because I admire Cristiano, although I'm not a fan of.
Okay.
Like I'm a Messi guy, and yeah.
Okay.
But no. To sit down to chat with someone, ah,
To illustrate their career.
yeah, to illustrate the career. Yeah, I think it's so hard. Okay, can I pick? Okay. Mm, I think Buffon.
Buffon. Yeah.
I think
Okay. Okay.
Gianluigi Buffon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. That's one of the players I admire the most. Also because he has this, like he showed his philosophy of staying with one team. Although he changed and stuff, but
Yeah.
he was loyal to Juventus, and he went down to Serie B when he could have
Yeah. Go
stayed.
to other
Like
place. Yeah.
yeah, that kind of loyalty and that kind of players like Totti too. Like they're much more about the colors and the passion of the game than the money. admire that a lot, and also maybe I could sit down with, well, yeah, nah. Yeah, yeah, Buffon is cool. I'll stay with Buffon.
Okay, okay. Which name you want to mention? Because you have another one in your head, so it's like
Yeah,
just spill it out.
Marcelo,
Marcelo.
Marcelo, the
Okay.
Brazilian player. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one of my favorite players, if not my favorite player. Uh, Although he played for Real Madrid, and I'm not a Real Madrid fan at all. I'm an Atletico de Madrid fan and also a
Okay.
Barcelona fan because of my family. But man, what Marcelo, how Marcelo plays, it's just magic. Yeah.
Okay. And if you get the chance to illustrate something about their career, like which passage, respectively, of each career would you like to illustrate, like in Marcelo or Buffon's career?
Damn, that's hard. Um, yeah, from Buffon, I think maybe when he became world champion, and also when he went to like relegation, yeah, with Juventus. Yeah, I think those two. And with Marcelo, I mean, all his career was mostly at Real Madrid, so and he won a lot of things, but I don't know, maybe more than a passage. I think for him he would be it would be something like those kind of passes and magic, like just portraying the art that I see when he touches the ball. I would try to replicate that. Yeah,
Okay, okay. Now I want to go like a little bit deeper about you and your persona and your career.
yeah.
What's your biggest fear as an artist?
Uh, Losing, like having Parkinson or something like that. Yeah,
Okay,
Parkinson disease. Yeah, I'm so afraid. Like I think it's what frightens me the most to lose the ability to draw, or not the ability, like the capacity to draw. O sea, um, if I lose my hand, or if I lose both hands, or something like that. But and that's why I'm training myself to draw with the other hand.
okay,
So yeah, I'm one step ahead.
okay. So why is such a fear to not be able to draw? What happened with you if you cannot draw?
uh, I feel like I feel frustrated. I need like more. I think I need the movement, and maybe that when I'm drawing, I like unplug from maybe the surroundings. Like it's such a good activity to make, even though I'm not drawing anything substantial, or even if I'm just doodling, like it zones me out. So that's and I'm not trying to say like I want to stay away from everything. And no, I love my life honestly, but and I enjoy living life, but I need that. Like my body needs to some spaces to draw. It's pretty difficult to explain, but yeah, I just need it, and I made my life goal not to work with some brands or whatever. My life goal is to draw every day. So
Okay,
if I die tomorrow, I accomplished my goal today. That's what not like my philosophy from a couple not for 4 or 5 years ago and
okay.
until now. Yeah,
That's a powerful statement. That's a powerful one. Um,
yeah.
Now what? Because we understand that the impact that drawing and the artist and like all the art that you made is it's having on you. But what's the impact that you want to have with your art to other people?
I think the illustration, like illustration as an art form, and all like every art piece, call it music or whatever, if has this emotional charge. So if you make it for profit or something, it's sensed and it's felt by the people who are receiving it. If you make it honest and you make it for the right reasons, I think it also is felt by the people. So I guess for me, the like the work fulfills its purpose when I finish the piece, because for me it was about the process. And afterwards, what I want for the people is to feel something. To maybe I'm telling a story, and if they understand their story and empathize with it, then I made my goal. Uh, but to sum it up, it would be like to make a little impact, hopefully a positive one, uh, because if you make an impact on someone else's life, it can lead to like a domino effect or something. I'm not saying like, oh, I want to change the world one illustration at a time or whatever. It's not like that. Not that deep. Just like one person is enough. And we live in a society now that we want thousands of whatever, but it doesn't make it more important than one person, you know? So if you impact one person's life, I think it's more than enough. So
Okay.
yeah, that would be it.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I don't want to throw you a curveball here, but I want to know something. But do you saw this like these sports murals that happened for Kobe Bryant when he passed away, or for LeBron James, or for Brandon Moreno in Tijuana? If you get the chance to have one space, just one space in any part of the world, what will you do with that space?
Like a mural.
Yeah.
Oh man. Like for me, it would be extremely important where is it, and what, like who am I portraying, because it has to have this huge connection with the place and the person and whatever. But if I had the chance to select those things, maybe it's a hard one because there are so many great characters. But ah, and the thing is that I thinking about all the sports that I like, you know, all the people. I definitely would make something in Mexico, and it would be a portrait of a Mexican. But mm, I don't know. It's a pretty hard one. It's a pretty
You're,
hard one. I yeah,
I mean, we're gonna circle back on that. No worries. We're
yeah.
gonna
Okay, okay,
circle
okay.
back on that. Um, so now, I want you to explain me something, because on your website you have something like that catch my eye, that caught my eye. It says, observe, catch the light, and make it yours. Can
Yeah,
you explain us what does it mean
yeah,
to
yeah.
you?
Yeah, it's part of my personal manifesto when I created my pseudonym or my alias, which is Atrapaluz, which translates as light catcher. I took it from the movie Loving Vincent, which is the frame by frame painted biography of Vincent Van Gogh. And in a scene they call, like someone calls him like, oh, you're a light catcher because you portray light so well, like when he was painting. And I love the term, and I love the meaning of it. So I think an illustrator is what we do. Like we, like all the colors and everything we see is light, you know. So um so what I'm doing is looking at the light and like taking it and placing it on a canvas or a digital piece or whatever. um, and but I work as a vessel, maybe like a channel. So everything is in there, out there. I mean, it passes through me and then goes through the piece, and that passing of the light through me is what makes the illustration come to life and be represented in a different way. So yeah, that's why.
Okay, so it's like a combination of an idea or a concept, and then your skills, your ability, and then everything like transform into a piece of art, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay. Now, we're almost through with the podcast, but I need to know
Yeah.
what has been for you a bad idea that in the end turned out to be a good idea.
Um, I think, uh, like circling back to what I told you, I think a bad idea at the time sounded like a very bad idea to take that workshop because it was pretty expensive. It was like at that time, I mean, for a guy who didn't have a job, and they have all like their savings, his savings and stuff. Um, it, it was about $750 for for something that I didn't know, like it was a long shot. I didn't know, like it was not so responsible at the time. Like I had to save money because I don't have a job now, and I was living with a couple of roommates that are my best friends, and I had to save money, and instead I spent it on this one workshop that like fortunately it became one of the best calls I've made. Like it changed my life forever. And nowadays, like when all the thing with NFL happened, I texted my instructor, Ghost Shrimp, and told him like, man, I'm just coming back to say hello, and to tell you about this thing that came thanks to you and your workshop. So I'm pretty thankful. Hope this makes you proud. And he was like, yeah, man, that like I'm super proud, and you're making it. You're creating your own reality. And that's what it stuck with me the most about that workshop. About he called it like quit your quit the mainstream reality and create your own reality, because mainstream reality pulls you and makes you doubt yourself. You If you believe in what you're capable of and start making the moves to create your own reality, you can do it. And I tried, and I'm doing it, and it's amazing. So yeah, that was a bad idea that happened to be the best idea of all.
Okay, amazing. That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's
man.
great.
Thanks,
Now,
man.
before we leave, because I want, of course, I want to know who will be like that. Where will it be that space, and
Yeah.
which will be that piece that you wanted to like to put on a canvas, like a huge canvas. But before
Yeah.
that, if if people want to know more about you and want to know more about your art and all the things that you're doing right now, but they only have one shot to understand what it is, how can you describe it? Like, I don't, like one, three, four words.
What I do,
Yeah.
like my okay, it will be, I'm a I'm a very sensitive and passionate illustrator. Or the other one, no, I think the other one would be best. I like to call myself sometimes a professional kid. Uh, yeah, because I I've been drawing since I was like 7, 8 years old, and I watched cartoons since then. I loved '90s cartoons, and it never stopped. Like growing up in my teenage years, it was like all my friends stopped watching cartoons, and I was like, why? Why? Like they're great. So I feel in some ways that I'm still the same kid, just with more experience, with more maturity and stuff. But I have this same childlike way of living and seeing things. So, and I'm doing the same things that I did when I was a kid. So they are paying me for doing it now. So yeah, I think I could be called a professional kid. So yeah.
That's great. That's an amazing term to describe yourself. Uh,
Thank you.
for example, what does represent to you when people came to you, buy your art, buy one of your pieces? What does it represent to you? Because you mentioned it, which I think I am agree with you. Like you can never do something about money. Money is the consequence of something,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah, totally.
But how do you feel when someone says, you know what, I'm gonna have this one of one Adam Days illustration, I'm gonna have this special piece that you have made? How do you feel inside?
It's amazing. Like, and I always think them like personally, but saying this word I feel honored of this making a space, like making giving up a place in your space for my art. Like, thank you for liking it so much and enough to want it to place it in somewhere. So uh, I also feel very fortunate that I got to connect with someone to the point of they want to give me their money enough, like, it's like this is something that you have, that you earned, and you are willing to give it away for something I made. That exchange is amazing. I connected with another person through my work. uh, I don't know. It's a great feeling. Always,
Okay,
always. Even if it's a sticker, a poster, or a huge campaign or something. I don't know.
okay. And what does your family think about everything that you do? Like when they saw everything that you can create, how does your family feel about it?
They're very happy, and they're very proud, and I feel super happy about it because I they know and I know that it's like a collective effort and collective accomplishment, because they always been very supportive. Like all the time, uh, throughout my life, they have been supportive. When I told them that I wanted to draw, like, and that I wanted to study animation and stuff, they always supported me. They didn't even question it at all. They just they just been there, and I'm very grateful for that. So yeah,
Okay.
they're happy.
Okay, if they're happy and you're happy, that's like what counts, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, now we're gonna wrap it up, but
Yeah.
we need to know where will be that special place and who will it be that special person that you want to illustrate, like in this huge project.
Yeah. Okay. So I was at first I was thinking about players and sports people, but you didn't say that it had to be a sports
Nope.
people. So I think it would be, I think my grandmother,
Okay.
probably. Um, I wanted to say that my parents too, but if it could be one person, I don't want to make it like either my dad or my mom. So I will choose my grandmother, um, because she helped a lot with raising us, me and my siblings, and I learned a lot about from her. And I think she's one of the purest persons alive. So so yeah, and she even played soccer with me, like
Okay.
because obviously not at any level. Like I was in my grandma's house, and I wanted to play, and she would be the goalkeeper, and she would place her like the goal would be our like the door,
Okay.
and I would try to shoot, and she would be like, oh, like just making the mimics, But
Yeah.
yeah, I think I would make a mural for her, and it would be in Satélite in Estado de Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah, because she lives there, and yes, plain and simple.
Okay. Man. That's crazy. it's so cool to understand how much does your family represent to you, how much does your art has been shaped by your family and by your childhood. Now it gives it like a different meaning to everything that people will see about you. Like
Yeah,
every piece that people will see will understand the meaning and the power that it has beyond that piece, man. Great.
thank you,
Amazing.
man. Thank you.
Amazing.
Hopefully, I can reflect that.
Yeah, amazing. Man, has been like an amazing time with you, has an amazing talk. Um, we wish you all the best, like not only working for the NFL in Mexico, but working for the NFL in the US, in Germany, in Brazil, in Dublin, in Spain, everywhere because you deserve it. And of course, not only the NFL, but like we hope that your art reach out to every corner and every spot in the world because we know that everyone will appreciate it. So we thank you for
Thank you
your
so
time.
much, man.
Thank you for your energy. Thank you for the passion that you put in every piece that you create, and we're looking forward to see what's the next big project that you have under your sleeve, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, and it's been an absolute pleasure and a great talk. And I love it, like sharing and resonating with people like you. Like, thank you so much. Honestly, thank you, man.
It was our pleasure for sure. So Adam, we wish you all the best, and we'll see you around. Okay.
Okay, thanks, man.
Ciao.
Bye.